Most people think they know Hawaii before they ever set foot on its shores. They picture the postcard fantasy, blue water, warm beaches, lays around the neck, and resort pathways lined with palm trees. But what they don't know is that Hawaii is a place shaped by forces far older, deeper, and more powerful than any tourist brochure. Beneath the soft glow of sunsets and the rhythm of ukulele strings lies an island chain forged by fire, guarded by ancient beliefs, and layered with stories most visitors never hear. Hawaii is not just a vacation spot, it is one of the most isolated landmasses on Earth. Everything you see here, from the towering cliffs to the smallest flower, either evolved in complete isolation or arrived across thousands of miles of ocean. Many of the species found here exist nowhere else on the planet. And behind each valley, each mountain, each stretch of rugged coastline is a narrative written by eruptions, migrations, kings, warriors, storms, and centuries of cultural preservation and loss. What many people don't realize is that Hawaii's beauty was born out of dramatic destruction. These islands rose from the ocean through relentless volcanic eruptions, and even today, on the Big Island, the land is still growing, expanding outward as fresh lava hardens into new earth. When you walk across a black lava field, you're stepping on terrain that could be younger than you. Few places on Earth allow you to witness creation happening in real time. And beyond the resorts, tucked away in places tourists rarely go, lie some of Hawaii's most sacred spaces. Ancient heiau, Hawaiian temples, still stand quietly in the forest, where Hawaiian chiefs once consulted the gods. Hidden valleys hold petroglyphs etched by ancestors who passed through centuries ago, leaving silent messages carved in stone. Even the towering waterfalls and lush ridges are more than scenery, they are living parts of Hawaiian culture, each with its own legend, guardian spirit, and significance. But perhaps the thing most people never hear about is the spirit that runs through Hawaii, a deep respect for the land, known as aloha ina. This is not a tourist phrase. It is a way of life, one that teaches that the land is alive, deserving of care, and interconnected with the people who call it home. To truly understand Hawaii, you must look past the postcard and see the living world beneath it, a world shaped by fire, protected by tradition, and alive with stories waiting to be revealed. Most people think they already know Oʻahu. They think of Waikiki's neon nights, surfboards lined along the beach, and crowds moving under the sunset like waves of their own. But Oʻahu is a master of disguise, and what the world sees on postcards is only the surface of a place built on layers of conflict, pride, history, and untamed beauty. To understand Oʻahu, you must leave the souvenir shops behind and step into the tension that shapes this island. This is the home of Hawaii's capital, Honolulu, a city that rises with the energy of New York but breathes with the softness of the Pacific. Glass towers cast shadows over ancient fish ponds. Highways curve around cliffs that once carried warriors. And just a few miles separate the world's most famous beaches from some of the island's most sacred and untouched spaces. The real Oʻahu begins where the tourist path ends. Head north, and the landscape changes as if someone turned a page. Waikiki's controlled perfection gives way to open coastline, raw wind, and waves that command respect. The North Shore isn't just a surfer's dream, it's a reminder that nature sets its own rules here. In winter, the swells rise like moving walls, drawing the bravest surfers on Earth while reminding everyone else how small humans truly are. But Oʻahu's contrasts aren't only physical, they're cultural. This island has carried the weight of history more heavily than any other in Hawaii. From the royal grounds of Iolani Palace, the only palace on U.S. soil, to the solemn waters of Pearl Harbor, Oʻahu holds stories that have shaped both the islands and the world. Every valley, every ridge, every bend in the shoreline has a name and a tale older than the United States itself. Move inland and Oʻahu reveals yet another face. Hidden within steep valleys like Nuuanu and Waianae are ecosystems that feel untouched by time. Mist rolls over cliffs shaped by millennia of erosion, and the scent of wet earth mixes with the calls of native birds found nowhere else on the planet. These mountains are alive with stories of gods, chiefs, and ancient battles, yet most visitors never experience them beyond a distant view from the highway. Oʻahu is not just a gateway to Hawaii, it's a living contradiction. A place where modern life and ancient spirit exist side by side. Where city lights reflect on waters that have carried centuries of memory. And where anyone willing to look beyond the familiar will discover an island far more complex and captivating than they ever imagined. Maui is often called the Valley Isle, but that name barely scratches the surface of what this island truly holds. To most visitors, Maui is golden beaches, luxury resorts, and the road to Hana. But behind the famous attractions lies a quieter Maui, one shaped by forgotten stories, dramatic landscapes, and cultural memory that refuses to fade. The island's soul lives in its contrasts. On the west side, calm waters and sunset beaches create an atmosphere of relaxation. Yet just a short drive inland, the slopes of the West Maui Mountains hide some of the wettest and most mysterious valleys in the world. These deep, narrow canyons were once thriving Hawaiian communities, protected by cliffs so steep that only foot trails could reach them. Today, many of these valleys remain untouched, representing one of the last windows into what Maui once was. On the east side, the landscape shifts again. Hana is more than a destination, it's a journey into old Hawaii. Waterfalls thunder through dense rainforest, black sand beaches shimmer under volcanic cliffs, and the air feels different, wilder. Every turn reveals something unexpected, an ancient lava tube, an isolated village, a sacred pool once used by Hawaiian royalty. But the heart of Maui rises above everything else, Haleakala. Standing on the summit feels like standing on another planet. The massive crater stretches like a bowl of colors, carved by centuries of wind, ash, and fire. At sunrise, the sky glows in gradients of gold and violet, a moment so powerful that early Hawaiians believed the sun itself was slowed here by the demigod Maui. Maui is beautiful, yes, but its deepest beauty lies in the stories hidden in its valleys, mountains, and shores, waiting for those willing to look beyond the resorts. Kauaʻi is often called the Garden Island, but that nickname barely scratches the surface of what this ancient land truly is. This is Hawaii's oldest island, over 5 million years of wind, rain, and volcanic sculpting, and every cliff, canyon, and coastline tells a story older than the human migration across the Pacific. What travelers don't realize is that Kauaʻi is the wildest of all the major islands, a place where the jungle still wins, where roads purposely stop to protect sacred places, and where nature dictates the terms. Our journey begins on the emerald ridges of the Na Pali coast, one of the most dramatic shorelines on Earth. These sheer cliffs rise like cathedral walls from the ocean, carved by centuries of relentless storms. Accessible only by boat, helicopter, or one of the most grueling hikes in Hawaii, the Na Pali is far more than a pretty view. For native Hawaiians, these isolated valleys were once thriving communities, sustained by taro farming, fishing, and a profound connection to the land. Even today, the cliffs feel alive, as if holding the echoes of the people who once lived in perfect balance with nature. From the coast, we move inland to Waimea Canyon, often called the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. But unlike Arizona's desert version, this one is painted in deep reds, lush greens, and waterfalls that appear after sudden rain. Kauaʻi receives some of the highest rainfall on the planet, and Waimea Canyon captures that contrast, vast, dry ridges beside narrow valleys overflowing with water and vegetation. It's a living reminder of how dramatically this island shifts from one ecosystem to the next. Deeper still lies the Alakai Swamp, one of the most remote and unique environments in Hawaii. Floating boardwalks lead through dense mist, twisted roots, and rare birds found nowhere else on Earth. Few visitors ever experience this part of Kauaʻi, but it reveals the island's purest truth. This is a place shaped by nature's will, not humanity's. Kauaʻi is wild, ancient, and unapologetically untamed. Here, you don't just visit the landscape, you surrender to it. Hawaii's wildlife is a delicate balance of wonder and vulnerability, much of it found nowhere else on Earth. What many visitors don't realize is that the islands are a living museum, home to species that evolved in isolation over millions of years, resulting in some of the planet's most unique birds, insects, and marine life. From the bright red Eevee hummingbird flitting among native haya trees to the stealthy Hawaiian monk seal resting along a remote beach, every creature plays a role in the island's intricate ecosystems. On land, the forests conceal a secret cast of creatures adapted to Hawaii's volcanic soils and microclimates. Birds like the nene, Hawaii's state bird, survive in rugged highlands, while colorful honey creepers showcase the extraordinary diversity that isolation fosters. But these species face constant threats, from invasive plants and predators to habitat loss, making every sighting a rare privilege. Beneath the waves, Hawaii's marine life is equally astonishing. Coral reefs, shimmering with thousands of species of fish, sea turtles, and eels, tell the story of an underwater paradise few truly explore. Spinner dolphins leap along the coasts at dawn, while majestic humpback whales migrate to the islands each winter, performing their haunting songs in deep ocean channels. The wildlife here is not just scenery, it's part of the island's living history. Ancient Hawaiians revered animals as kin and messengers, weaving their behavior and presence into myths, navigation, and cultural practices. Understanding Hawaii's creatures is to glimpse the island's soul, where survival, adaptation, and balance are constant threads. Every step through these forests, beaches, and reefs is a reminder: Hawaii is fragile, and its guardians are everywhere if you know where to look. To encounter them is to witness the persistence of life in its most extraordinary forms, a lesson in respect and wonder that visitors rarely expect when they first think of the islands. Most visitors to Hawaii come for the beaches, resorts, and famous tourist spots, but the islands have a side few ever witness: a world of hidden valleys, secret waterfalls, and quiet cultural spaces untouched by crowds. These are the places where Hawaii's true character lives, where the landscape whispers stories of the past and nature unfolds without interruption. Beyond the golden sands of Waikiki and the volcanic peaks that dominate postcards, you'll find trails leading to secluded cliffs, where the ocean crashes in solitude and rainbows form over misty valleys. Small villages, often overlooked, hold the living traditions of native Hawaiians, hula practiced in sacred groves, chants echoing in ancient temples, and farmers tending taro patches as their ancestors did for centuries. The island's hidden corners are not only about scenery but also discovery. A kayak down a secret river can reveal nesting seabirds and freshwater pools teeming with life. A hike through a remote forest may lead to rare plants found nowhere else, or to a waterfall whose roar drowns out the modern world. Even the Big Island, known for lava and fire, has quiet corners where you can feel the land's raw power without the throngs of tourists. Seeing Hawaii this way requires patience, curiosity, and respect. These hidden experiences leave a deeper imprint than any postcard view. They connect you to the land, its history, and its people. In these moments, the islands are not just a destination, but a living, breathing story waiting to be felt. For those willing to go beyond the guidebooks, Hawaii offers a rare gift: the chance to step into its soul, to witness its landscapes as they were meant to be experienced, and to understand why the islands captivate hearts long after the visit ends.